Okay, so hello. In this video, I will be talking about taichi chuan, which, of course, in the modern day would be taichi boxing, and obviously it's the same art that we knew before, but it's a little bit different because of what we have available today. Fundamentally, there's several steps in learning taichi. The first one being you know how to think like a Tai Chi practitioner. This doesn't mean, okay, so I'm thinking about the jab, thinking about the cross, I'm thinking about the elbow, I'm thinking about the knee. This means, do you know, if I think attack, do you think defend? If I think defend, do you think attack? Do you think counter? Stuff like that. And this is very important because the whole point of what Tai Chi is it's an art that first of all is very calm. That's the whole reason if you're doing the forms, pretty much the only reason. One of the reasons is this calmness, very calm, no matter what happens, I'm calm. Second thing is if I'm doing this Tai Chi, it's about when they use aggression, right? That's yin. I use yang. I use softness. Well, when you think about how does this make any sense, basically it means if they punch, you're gonna take the hit, and you're not gonna punch back right away. So we're talking about instead of animals who of course react very simply, we're trying to get rid of the aggression and focus on calmness and just logic. Yeah. How do we do that? We have this kind of meditative form. This one. What the real way that Tai Chi was taught is first of all through this game called Wei Qi or Go. And this game is specifically made to teach Kung Fu because if you're a master in Tai Chi and you master the art, and I have, and when you play Wei Qi and you practice the art of Wei Qi, you're actually teaching your student how to use Tai Chi. Wei Qi is almost like chess, but it's very different. When do I pull back? When do I push? When do I attack? When do I defend? All these things in Wei Qi, through repetition of the game, you can learn the correct instinct, correct decision. Second is, of course, Wing Chun. Wing Chun actually is push hands in Wing Chun. Push hands is this intermediate. It's difficult for some students to go directly from, oh, I'm thinking something, I'm thinking I'm going to be gentle, into actually being gentle when under threat. And so push hands is there's a threat of losing, it's a game. And then when you do the game teaches you, do I go forward, do I go back? In the modern time, the best way to do this is actually through badminton. Because badminton teaches you do I push, do I pull. And when you play badminton, your lead hand is actually the one you play badminton with. Because when you move your racket and stuff, that directly converts to a jab. So you want the jab. So actually, if you're right-handed, you want your right foot forward because your right hand is the one that jabs, is the one that hits the shuttles, and that jabs the best. If you use your left hand, it's different. So your left hand is actually the one you want to be playing Wei Qi with because you're thinking. That left hand is the one that you're thinking. You're not actually moving. A lot of the time you jab and you're thinking. The next step would be to watch the master do his form. the form gives you an idea of how do you practice, right? And I do forms, and you're not supposed to you're not supposed to how can I say this? You're not supposed to copy it. It's not meant to be copied. It's meant to inspire, right? If you don't punch like that, you don't have a form like what the teacher has, it's okay. Ancient China honestly focused a lot on creativity. So there was a lot of creative aspects to it. So whether your form looks like Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or Prince Nassim, doesn't change the fact that you're still gonna mimic, not copy, mimic, meaning you take inspiration from how the Sifu is going to punch. Okay? Because if the Sifu comes and he touch, you see how he, so in an earlier video I had things where I was just touching the bag. Right? Obviously, there are certain arm structures that if you practice more, it's more efficient for the punching. Doesn't mean it's not good, because depending on your structure, you have different optimalities, right? If I'm gonna flare on my elbow, some people might say it's bad, but there's a certain distance that is actually superior than if I just stick it out, if I just like this. Okay, because if I go like this, flare my eyeball out, I create a chain. Right? So you should be able to do exactly as your teacher does, and also in your own way. So both of them. It's kind of like, I would say, if I'm learning mathematics, right, and I have my own solution to the problem, I should still know and understand my teacher's solution. So I gain whatever they're thinking on top of my own solution, which is also correct. That's the whole point. So basically, I think we already are outlining. And then of course comes sparring. We're not just doing like a random, but more like feeling sparring. And that's where you have partner drills. You're not actually, you know what's coming, but you're just trying to feel for the feeling of taichi. So that's pretty much it. And I think, so basically what do we do? Let's outline Wei Qi, that's number one. Copying the form, that's number two. Practicing partner drills, number three. And sparring, number four. Typically, the Sifu wouldn't even spar at all, so it's not like what I'm doing right now is missing anything. We have everything we need. I'm not going to spar, but I don't need to spar, because if you're sparring the Sifu, he can get hurt, he can fall over. Sparring, basically you're sparring. Sparring is Wei Qi or Go. That's your sparring. You only need to know when to push, when to pull, how to step up, how to step forward. This feeling, that's all you need. You don't need, and of course, in the old times, that's why they have push hands, because they don't have badminton. If they had badminton, they would be doing badminton. They don't have badminton, that's why they're doing push hands and Wing Chun, so that they don't hurt anymore. Because obviously, if you have a Sifu and he's like 40, 50, and he's arthritis or whatever, he's not gonna be fighting you. Or to make it as realistic and as good as possible, to have something that is enough that the student gets trained. They play Wei Qi, and they do the forms, they copy, and they do Wing Chun, aka So in modern times, badminton is its own thing, but obviously, with badminton, you can use badminton to learn Tai Chi fighting. And the whole point of Tai Chi fighting is, as I said, instead of just violence, pure violence, you're kind of coming towards this idea of being human, being kind, being gentle. You're kind of using these things to win your fights. Because instead of he's going to be the punch, like Mike Tyson does, I'm going to let him come, I'm going to analyze, I'm going to let him come here, boom, boom, I'm going to measure. And of course, you can't fight without boxing. Some Tai Chi masters, they're all over the place. I'm not going to call them stupid, I'm going to just call them ignorant. Let's see how much time I have left. I'm just going to, I'm just going to call them ignorant because they don't know how to train. If you don't know how to punch, how to jab, you don't know how to cross, you don't know how to uppercut, you don't know how to uppercut, you're not going to be able to fight. And not just pure simplicity. If you never sparred, you're not going to be able to fight. That's why this badminton, this form. I already said everything. So I gotta say, so